So please welcome to the stage Alex Pilař, Michal and Pavla.
All right, okay. So guys, do you have mics? All right, perfect.
One.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. It's really a pleasure to have the opportunity to talk to Pavla and Michal. How many sailors we have in the room? Who are the sailors here? We have a few, all right. So I plan to actually dump down the conversation, but we have like 20% people who knows what the mast is.
But
So
did you realize that actually a hand was risen only by Czechs? Nation without the sea.
mostly, yes. All right, so Daniel already introduced the story. So it is amazing history over the last couple of years, what you guys are doing. So I'm really pleased we have that conversation here today and how it brought you to, it was hard to find the challenge to top your previous experiences. So Daniel correctly observed the only one there would be to start a Bitcoin company. So let me just start with because you seem to don't understand the word calm. You know, there's a word in English language, calm. So what is wrong, Pavla, about buying the cottage somewhere in the mountains and live the normal, peaceful life for a while?
Good afternoon, everybody. That's a very good question. Friends and family keep asking us. But I think it's the mixture of us two. My husband initially wanted to retire at 30, and then he realized it's too early. So we just realized, and that's the thing, you plan, you don't want to do much, you want to spend time with your kids, and then you realize when you are there that it's not probably that, it's not the final, final ideal state. You realize you have energy, you have some social credit, you have some money, and you still want to contribute to the society, I would put it this way. And this is where my husband was coming back with Bitcoin. Probably you know it, guys. Maybe you talk to your wives about Bitcoin. Maybe you don't, or to your kids, or to your parents. And he was constantly showing various studies and graphs as today. And then at some point, I finally said that, wow, that's a cool thing. Let's go ahead and let's do something.
Michal, you agree?
We have a cottage.
You have a cottage. All right, okay then.
No, it's. I would correct you. Actually, when I was 20, I said to myself that I want to retire at 35. I didn't make it. I retired at 36. And then when we sailed around the world, I realized that that's a stupid idea. That just
retirement.
Yeah, and I'm actually happy that the mast broke and we can be working again.
So let's go into it because it sounds like light thing, but it's not. So let's bring us back to that day in the Atlantic, when from the normal cruising, one reef in the main, all looks good. Suddenly, chaos. Mast is down. You have only Pavla and the two kids, no one else on board. So what were your first thoughts? What were your first reaction when it happened?
Shit.
Yeah.
That was your take. Okay.
I was, we were preparing ourselves for 10 years for this trip. I was doing races in Mediterranean and 24-hour races, and I was trained for the situation when the mast will break. So actually in the moment when I saw 2 days sailing south of Dominican Republic, which is around, let's say, 150 nautical miles, so close to 300 kilometers south, there is really no one. And when I saw the disaster, that was a brand new boat, built it for this trip, the most quality boat, which is Amel, if those who sail might know the brand. And what happened that in 7 meters high, the remaining 50 meters fell down, and then you lose everything. You lose lights, you lose VHF, you lose rudder, and all the sails, wires, lines are below the boat, so you cannot start the engine because it would, it would block the propeller. And then the kids and their eyes, that's something what I will never forget.
I have because we could spend a day discussing this, but I have one specific question. Because in one moment you had to decide, because you called Mayday, obviously, you had to decide if you will get someone to winch you up and jump on the chopper and leave the boat, or abandon the ship, or if you will try to sort out the mess and motor the boat back to the... So for this conversation, I would like to hear how you guys negotiate a risk like that, and how you made the decision of that kind, which is super non-trivial.
Should I take it? Because there is certain point which created like a huge bondage between two of us. Even we were married, etc. You know, all those things. But the certain moment when for 2 hours I was using a saw and knife to cut everything around the boat. I was sinking down below the boat on the open sea, cutting 4 meters below the wires. She was holding me on a rope in 2 to 3 meters waves. And when I actually appeared back on the deck, I was like poorly, I didn't have any energy. I was so, how to say, like wasted, yeah. And I saw her face, and she took the saw and knife, and she, like a lion, appeared on the deck and started to cut off the ropes. And in that moment, I saw like a life partner who is saving our ass on the sea. And I don't know, guys, if you experience that, but when you see a tiny lady fighting with wind and waves and doing the man's work, I found it so much energy in myself that actually, after a few minutes, I took it over again. But that's a moment I will never.
So you decided not to take the offer from the Coast Guard?
No,
not to go on the chopper and decide to bring the boat back to the marina. So last on the sailing, Pavla, how you felt about it? Because you have 2 kids there, chopper is over there, they could winch you up.
Well, there were, as Michael was saying, it was like one of the hardest, I think it was the hardest moment in our lives. You have 2 kids, they were age 6 and 9, so pretty small. Imagine you, the whole day you're fighting and waiting for the night where nobody will see you. So there is big danger of some container ship hitting you. But then we were thinking, okay, American Coast Guard offered us help, that the helicopter could come and save us, winched us up. But then I would think, okay, and we were not thinking, that was the only positive thing about the situation. We didn't have a hole in the boat, so we would be sinking. So I thought, like, to use the helicopter for the kids, maybe it would be even worse. And we just believed ourselves that we will make it. So we
and you did. You made it.
And we made it. We made it. To be frank, I'm waiting for my kids when they will turn 30. They will be sitting at the psychoanalyst or psychoanalyst talking to them like my parents nearly killed me when I was little. So they probably took something in them. Like the year after the accident, they still were having nightmares, and it was not easy for them. But and they still don't want to go on a boat with us yet. So, but no, we decide we make it, and we make it.
No, thanks for sharing that. That's a tough place. If someone wants to see that, there is a website with the videos, and it's impressive. Even for non-sailor people, I think it's impressive what the guys managed to handle there. So, you know, most of the people try to live their lives avoiding the storms. You seem to be sailing straight into them. So when you get out from the Atlantic, you went to Prague, and you joined the presidential campaign, one of the most intensive. How that happened, what was the plan? And Pavla, I understood you managed the campaign actually. So from your previous business, writing the story, storytelling, brand management, that was the link, or how did you end up there?
Well, I knew the general Petr Pavel. He was first soldier in NATO, and I knew that he is planning to candidate for the presidency. And when this disaster at the sea in Caribbean happened, and we actually arrived on the shore, Pavla mentioned something like, let's give it back to God that we survived. And the first thought which went through my mind was, shit, I'm going to do some non-profit activity.
That's not your nature.
No. And then 2 seconds after, because I wouldn't spend too much time with such a bad idea, I realized that I have a phone call, I have a phone number to General Petr Pavel. So I called him and I said, hey, are you running for the campaign? Yes. Are you having the team? No. We are coming back to Prague and we will make the campaign for you. And so she was running the campaign and I was doing the fund raising.
I think it beautifully demonstrates how it works at our home. So Michal is the visionaire coming with ideas, and
then someone do the work.
I'm the later adopter.
Yeah, no, I'm observing that. So from that campaign thing, is there any myth, kind of political campaign myth, you can kind of debunk for us, and something you have learned there?
Well, it was first political campaign for us so far.
So it was not last.
So far, the latest, or like the last. We don't plan any, but you never say never, right? And what is interesting, in the team there were only 2 professional political marketeers. The rest of the people were doing it because they just trust the candidate. And there is there are a few things, well, many things, I could talk on it forever, but few things I would like to mention. The first thing is what we've learned. You can change anything in the campaign, but not the candidate. And it's so true, and I think it was what we've learned, that you can promote the candidate, you try to communicate his strength, but if you try to force him to something which is not natural to him, it will not be authentic, trusted, and people will not vote for him. Which I think there can be a parallel to, I don't want to say to like a product or service marketing, but if you try to pretend it is better than it in reality is, you will always have a backfire. It will backfire to you. That was one thing. The second thing was the motivation of the people in the team. That was amazing. I was never managing the team that would, you always have this start with why, with Simon Sinek and all this, like why the product is here or the service. Here in this team, everybody knew why. That was clear. It was like personal preference to support. So that was very, I would say, energizing. You don't have to explain why to make a better post or why to do a better contact campaign, because everybody was already in the phase, I want to do the best because he's a great guy. And I'm thinking what else. And the last thing, what I would, that may be that's probably
the dark side.
The dark side, yeah, like the attacks, you're getting like hacked websites, like false information, articles that are written by paid journalists. That's basically reality. But what we learned, maybe last thing, and I think it's again nice parallel maybe to Bitcoin adoption. Don't communicate, don't talk to those who are rejecting you, because you will not force them. It's money thrown out of the window. Talk to the undecided, talk maybe to the skeptics, and here you can make the key decision making.
Well, it's very insightful. Michal, anything to add from the experience? Did you guys consider staying in the politics after that, when the campaign was kind of successfully ending and people were building the administration at the castle in Prague?
It was the first moment when we mentioned in our family word divorce. No, because Pavla really was standing at the pyramid of the success that this globally respected guy is at the Prague Castle. And such an emotion that you can have an impact as an individual on something which is much bigger than you of course, in her head it was running through that now we made it and we will continue the success and we will help the nation. And in this case, it was the opposite in our family. I was the more practical one, I would say, first time and last time. And I said, no fucking way that we will be involved in politics because it will ruin us. They will make me the biggest lobbyist, and like press guys will make out of me the biggest lobbyist guy, even I'm not. So I said to myself, I will not ruin my reputation. So for the first time and the last time, she listened to me.
We talk later.
So that's true. So let's get to the Bitcoin. You already mentioned in the morning what was your pathway to find the Bitcoin. Pavla, you explained the beginning. So I would like now to ask you a question. If you have the Bitcoin CEO coming to you in your job when you build up the company and run it, building the brands and storytelling, how would you assess the way how the Bitcoin is presented? What is the storytelling around that? How the general public, not the bubble, is thinking about it? Is it good, bad, ugly? As a professional, how you would feel about that?
Well, I am now, let's say, half a year, maybe a year in Bitcoin, so I still consider myself as a newbie. I'm still on my learning curve, which to a certain extent is quite a disadvantage because many of you are many lectures ahead of me. But from the communication perspective, I actually see it as a strength because I have my friends coming to me asking about Bitcoin, family, previous colleagues. And actually I realized to explain in a simple way what Bitcoin is and to, as I was talking about the unconvinced skeptics or maybe these the interested people, I still consider the language of the community and the way the Bitcoin is spread relatively difficult, and I think, and this is why we decided to invest in Invity with Slash, Stick, and Stepan, because we feel
Slash is the Marek Palatinus, and Stick is Pavel Rusnak, founders of Satoshi Labs. Just to translate that for the non-bubble people.
I'm already in the. I'm caught by the bubble. No, but. The idea, and that's why my husband finally persuaded me after the presidential campaign. I was missing some bigger, something with higher, bigger perspective, broader message, or something which can help the society. And because we are investing in various projects, we felt that the current system is, I don't want to say broken, because there are many bankers, guys. I don't want to be personal, but probably you see it too, you know. You cannot, it's impossible not to see it. So the idea or the philosophy of Bitcoin, I was trying to read even the paper by Satoshi Nakamoto, which was quite difficult for me, but I did my bit. I think the philosophy of it is great, and the mission we said we're gonna do is, my dream is that everybody who is thinking of their financial wealth has piece of Bitcoin in his portfolio, and I think this is something that should happen at some point. And this is why we are here, this is why the communication language, if you wanna get broader adoption, it has to be simplified. I know there is this technical part, but that's relevant to certain audience. There are ways how we can help the adoption so people don't have to be that technically educated to understand or to feel comfortable. And this is what I feel that the disadvantage I have can turn into a positive thing.
Michal, anything you would add to it?
Well, even though I mentioned that I'm not a lobbyist, I'm lobbying for Bitcoin adoption in this country. And I actually see, and František Vinopal in the morning was speaking about it here. It's actually surprising how in this topic Czech politics are open, even in other topics they are completely blind. Like for example, those non-Czech guys, when I was talking about the real estate project here, the zoning takes 10 years. In London, few of my friends invest only in London because they decided not to invest in Czech Republic anymore in real estate, it takes months or years. Or in Poland, you get it in two months, for example, zoning. So just to give you a clue that everything is not ideal here. In Bitcoin sphere, it seems that it's positive. Czech governor, etc. So
maybe before we close, because I think we have a 17 seconds. Are there 5 minutes for Q&A? You have 10 more. Because this shows.
Up to you if you want to carry on talking or go to Q&A.
Perfect. So, because there was a conference a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago in Prague, business conference, and Mr. Pavel, president, was there, and he kind of joined the guys talking about the Bitcoin and about the politics. And there was a big Bitcoin scandal a couple of months ago because some politicians did something stupid, not much relevant. It was not about the Bitcoin, it was about the government more. Anyway, so Mr. President was saying, it's really a pity that the Bitcoin had this kind of bad luck on the PR, but now when I see Nýdrle family, and I'm quoting, joining the Bitcoin industry, I'm sure it will improve and the perception of the Bitcoin in Czech Republic will change. So just kind of demonstrating the standing you guys still have in the eyes of the president.
No pressure.
No pressure, no pressure, exactly. So I have a number of questions, but I would allow or invite the audience, if anybody has any questions they want to throw on the Pavla and Michal right now. Still have time? We do have? Okay, there's a question.
Sailing tips we can give afterwards over the coffee.
Yeah, how to get rid of the mast.
Thanks. That was an incredible story. Thank you for sharing that. And actually, it's a sailing question. I know you say you made it, but how on earth did you transition from cutting the cables and cutting the mast free, make it to the Dominican Republic? How on earth did you make that journey? Just out of curiosity.
Well, it was more than 36 hours. Yeah, during the night, as Pavla mentioned, there were like the container ships going through the channel, and they didn't see us. And there is a Indian citizen sitting behind the steering wheel of the container ship, sleeping, pushing the button of autopilot, and he's not looking at the rudder. So that was scary moment when I saw lights of boats crossing my journey, and I couldn't navigate. I couldn't steer. I was just slowly. I actually turned the engine on when I cut it off all the waste, so I could steer towards the Dominican Republic. But that in this moment, since then, I hate the Indian slang. We were 2 days ago in India, and I was like, shit, I cannot listen to it. I heard that so many times on the VHF radio that for you English native speaking people, you know what I'm talking about, that Indian slang.
So it was intense, 36 hours. Just to explain, they were selling through traffic channels, so a lot of boats, and when you lose mass, you have no AI, so they don't see you principally. All right, did he answer the question? Satisfactory? Yeah, all right. I have a question, because on the boats, crews have a different modus of how they communicate. Kiwis are super quiet, no one say a word, just watching each other, you must know what to do. Italians shouting a lot, kind of lot of communication. British, they are cracking the jokes, even if they're all about to die. So what is the communication, not only on the boat, but also on the business, how you guys talk to each other? What is the kind of...
We are multinational, evidently.
Say again?
We are multinational crew on the boat. Sometime in the morning we are Italians, and sometime in the afternoon we are British.
So it's changing with the situation.
No, there needs to be a strict regime. When you are closer to the south spheres of Atlantic, then the light, the sun falls around 6 p.m. So then kids went to the living room and watching every day there was one movie. Then they fell asleep at 8, and my regime started, which was 20 minutes sleep, 5 minutes awake, 20 minutes sleep, 5 minutes awake for 21 days in a row on the Atlantic Ocean. And then at 8 in the morning, they started to wake up and somehow serving me up at the steering wheel with the breakfast.
All right. So, do you have any other questions here? So I'll probably just kind of close slowly. Incredible story, and great you survive all these things. I think considering that Bitcoin company is your next challenge, probably there'll be similar crises, but hopefully not as intense. And you brought the book at the beginning, so I guess there's something coming. But I was about to ask, are you planning to write the book or write something about that story, or is it anything coming?
Well, you have to cover this.
Well, because we are from advertising initially, we had this idea of making like a movie out of, I don't want to say our life, but our like what we've, especially the trip on the boat. But because of the bad end, we decided we wait. So we have actually a lot of materials shot by professionals, even from the political campaign, but it's now on hold. Okay. We have full focus on Bitcoin now.
You mentioned the book. You're a smart guy. You got it. That this is a present for you.
Right, okay.
But I want to say or suggest. This is first.
Thank you.
This is first suggestion today. Sorry, it's only for Czech people. This is a book about 7 Jewish entrepreneurs. At the beginning of 20th century in this country, and those 7 families made a success of the first Czech Republic in 20s after the First World War. One of the family was one of the top richest family back then in Europe. And when I read this book, it gave me so much power that I know that this Bitcoin thing will be easy. So Czechs, write back to me. I bought 200 of these books and I'm giving them as a gift because it's supporting our Czech
cause.
Yes.
So
So reach back to me. I will give it to you.
last one, then people can find you. You are on Twitter or something?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. So it's easy to find you.
LinkedIn, probably the easiest.
Right. Okay. So if you want to reach out. So good luck with the Invity. That's the next big challenge. So we're looking forward in a couple of years. So how you will see, how you see the success in your eyes? So what is the success of Invity in 2-3 years? What it looks like?
I think it's the adoption of Bitcoin among general public.
Get out of the bubble.
Not just Czech Republic, Europe. Yeah. Make it more accessible, understandable. Make it part of normal life. So, by the way, I would love to. I guess you're probably coming to BTC Prague in June. And if you're considering, please do come, because we plan some like generation debates on this topic, exactly to increase the adoption. So, if you have people around you who are hard to convince, maybe we will try to help and to bring them on board. And it could be even your wives or your husbands, etc.
I just want to add, those whom you want to convince, tell them to come with their kids, and through their kids, as you saw the full family life cycle which I was presenting, we will convince those people.
Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody.